Have you ever felt like your whole world suddenly shifted? Like you were seeing everything through new eyes? That's what a spiritual awakening feels like. It's not about learning new facts or gaining special powers. It's about experiencing life in a completely different way. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that everything you thought you knew about yourself and the world around you has changed. That's the essence of a spiritual awakening. This journey isn't about becoming someone else. It's about uncovering who you truly are beneath all the layers of beliefs and habits you've picked up over the years. It's like peeling an onion, layer by layer, until you reach the core of your being. And just like peeling an onion, this process can sometimes bring tears to your eyes. But don't worry. These are often tears of joy and relief as you shed old pain and discover a deeper sense of peace and purpose. A spiritual awakening can happen to anyone at any time. It doesn't matter if you're young or old, rich or poor, or what your background is. It's not something you can force or plan. It's more like a gift that life offers you when you're ready to receive it. And once it starts, it sets in motion a series of changes that can transform every aspect of your life. Think about a time when you felt truly alive and connected to everything around you. Maybe it was while watching a beautiful sunset, or during a moment of deep meditation, or even in the middle of a busy street when you suddenly felt a profound sense of love for everyone around you. These glimpses of a higher reality are like little tastes of what a spiritual awakening can bring into your life on a more permanent basis. So, what exactly is a spiritual awakening? It's like waking up from a long dream. Imagine you've been sleepwalking through life, going through the motions, doing what everyone else does, and believing what everyone else believes. Then suddenly, you start to wake up. You begin to question things you never questioned before. You start to see the world with fresh eyes, as if for the first time. A spiritual awakening is a shift in consciousness. It's when you start to realize that there's more to life than what meets the eye. You begin to sense a deeper reality behind the everyday world. It's like you've been watching a movie your whole life, and suddenly you realize you can step out of the movie and see the bigger picture. This awakening can feel different for everyone. For some, it's a gentle process, like slowly waking up on a lazy Sunday morning. For others, it can be more sudden and intense, like being jolted awake by a loud noise. There's no right or wrong way to experience it. Your journey is unique to you. During a spiritual awakening, you might start to question the meaning of life. You might wonder why you're here and what your purpose is. These big questions that you maybe never thought about before suddenly become very important. It's like you've been living in a small room your whole life, and now you've discovered a door that leads to a vast, unexplored world. You might also start to feel more connected to everything around you. The boundaries between you and the rest of the world might start to feel less solid. You might feel a deep sense of love and compassion for all living things. It's like realizing that we're all part of one big family, not just all humans, but all of nature, the whole universe. A spiritual awakening can also change how you see yourself. You might start to realize that you're more than just your body, your thoughts, and your emotions. You might begin to sense a deeper, more permanent part of yourself that doesn't change even when everything else does. Some people call this their soul or their true self. This awakening can bring a sense of peace and joy that doesn't depend on outside circumstances. You might find yourself feeling happy for no particular reason. Little things that used to bother you might not seem so important anymore. It's like finding a well of happiness inside yourself that never runs dry. But it's important to remember that a spiritual awakening isn't always easy or comfortable. It can be challenging because it often means letting go of old beliefs and ways of living that no longer serve you. It's like cleaning out a cluttered closet. It might be messy and difficult at first, but in the end, you feel lighter and freer. How do you know if you're going through a spiritual awakening? There are many signs, and you might experience some or all of them. Remember, everyone's journey is unique, so don't worry if your experience doesn't match exactly what you read or hear from others. One common sign is a feeling of disconnection from the life you've been living. Things that used to seem important to you, like your job, your possessions, or even your social status, might start to feel less meaningful. It's not that these things become bad, but you start to see them as less central to who you really are. You might find yourself questioning the goals you've been pursuing and wondering if there's more to life than what you've been taught. Another sign is a growing sense of connection to something bigger than yourself. You might feel more in tune with nature, finding peace and wisdom in the natural world. A walk in the forest or time spent by the ocean might fill you with a sense of awe and wonder that you never experienced before. You might start to see the interconnectedness of all things, realizing that we're all part of a greater whole. You might also notice changes in your relationships. You may feel drawn to spend time with people who share your new interests and perspectives, while feeling less connected to those who don't. This doesn't mean you need to end old friendships, but you might find that some relationships naturally drift apart while others grow stronger. You might also develop a deeper sense of compassion for others, even for people you don't know or who are very different from you. A heightened interest in spiritual or philosophical topics is another common sign. You might find yourself drawn to books, videos, or conversations about the meaning of life, the nature of reality, or different spiritual traditions. Ideas that you never cared about before might suddenly become fascinating to you. You might start exploring meditation, yoga, or other practices that help you connect with your inner self. Physical and emotional changes can also be signs of a spiritual awakening. You might experience changes in your sleep patterns, perhaps needing less sleep or having vivid dreams. Your eating habits might change, often moving towards healthier, more natural foods. Emotionally, you might find yourself more sensitive, experiencing both higher highs and lower lows. You might cry more easily, both from joy and sadness. A growing sense of intuition is another sign. You might start to trust your gut feelings more, finding that they often lead you in the right direction. You might have moments of insight or clarity that seem to come from nowhere. Some people even report experiencing synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that seem too perfect to be random chance. You might also notice a shift in how you experience time. The past and future might seem less important, while the present moment becomes more vivid and real. You might find yourself naturally practicing mindfulness, being more aware of your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings in each moment. A desire for simplicity and authenticity is another common sign. You might feel the urge to declutter your life, getting rid of possessions that no longer feel meaningful to you. You might also feel a strong need to be more authentic in your relationships and in how you express yourself, letting go of pretenses and being more true to who you really are. Changes in how you view challenges and difficulties in your life can also indicate a spiritual awakening. You might start to see problems as opportunities for growth rather than as obstacles. You might develop a more accepting attitude towards life's ups and downs, trusting that everything happens for a reason, even if you can't always see what that reason is. A sense of expanded consciousness is another sign. You might have moments where you feel a profound sense of peace or bliss. These experiences might be brief at first, but they can become more frequent and longer lasting as your awakening deepens. You might feel as if you're observing your thoughts and emotions rather than being caught up in them. It's important to note that experiencing these signs doesn't necessarily mean you're going through a spiritual awakening. Many of these experiences can also be caused by other life changes or even by certain medical conditions. If you're experiencing significant changes in your thoughts, feelings, or behavior, it's always a good idea to check with a healthcare professional to rule out any underlying health issues. Also remember that a spiritual awakening is a process, not a destination. These signs might come and go, or they might build gradually over time. You might have periods of intense awakening, followed by periods where you feel like you've lost touch with your spiritual side. This ebb and flow is normal and natural. As you go through this process, it's important to be patient and kind with yourself. A spiritual awakening can bring up a lot of emotions and challenges. You might feel confused, scared, or overwhelmed at times. That's okay. These feelings are a normal part of the process of growth and transformation. It can be helpful to find ways to ground yourself as you go through these changes. Spending time in nature, practicing meditation or mindfulness, journaling about your experiences, or talking with supportive friends can all be helpful. Some people find it beneficial to work with a spiritual teacher or counselor who can guide them through this process. Remember, a spiritual awakening is ultimately about becoming more fully yourself. It's about peeling away the layers of conditioning and false beliefs to uncover your true nature. As you recognize these signs in yourself, try to approach them with curiosity and openness. Each sign is like a signpost on your journey, pointing you towards a deeper understanding of yourself and your place in the universe. As you continue on this path, you might find that your perception of reality itself begins to shift. The world might seem more vibrant, more alive. You might start to see beauty in places you never noticed before. Ordinary moments might take on a sense of magic and wonder. This awakening process can also bring a deep sense of purpose and meaning to your life. You might discover talents or passions that you never knew you had. You might feel called to make changes in your life, to align your actions more closely with your new understanding of what's truly important. Remember, there's no rush and no competition in this journey. Your awakening will unfold in its own time and in its own way. Trust the process and trust yourself. You have everything you need within you to navigate this journey of self-discovery and transformation. As you recognize these signs of awakening in yourself, you might feel a mix of excitement and uncertainty. That's perfectly normal. You're embarking on a profound journey of self-discovery, one that has the potential to transform your life in beautiful and unexpected ways. Embrace the journey with all its ups and downs, knowing that each step is bringing you closer to your true self and to a deeper, richer experience of life. A spiritual awakening can be a beautiful and life-changing experience, but it's not always easy. Just like any big change in life, it comes with its own set of challenges. It's important to understand these challenges so you can navigate them with grace and patience. One of the biggest challenges you might face is a sense of confusion or disorientation. As your old beliefs and ways of seeing the world start to fall away, you might feel lost or unsure of yourself. It's like you've been living in a house your whole life, and suddenly all the walls have disappeared. You're left standing in a wide open space, which can feel both exciting and scary at the same time. This confusion is normal and even necessary. It's a sign that you're letting go of old, limiting beliefs and opening yourself up to new possibilities. But it can be uncomfortable. You might find yourself questioning everything, even things you've always taken for granted. This can leave you feeling unstable or unsure of what's real. During this time, it's important to be patient with yourself. Remember that confusion is a natural part of growth. Just like a caterpillar has to go through a stage of being formless goo inside its cocoon before it can become a butterfly, you might need to go through a period of not knowing before you can emerge into a new way of being. Another challenge you might face is feeling disconnected from others. As you start to see the world differently, you might find that your friends and family don't understand what you're going through. You might try to share your experiences with them, only to be met with blank stares or even criticism. This can be really lonely. You might feel like you don't fit in anymore, like you're speaking a different language than everyone around you. But remember, you're not alone. Many people go through this phase during a spiritual awakening. It's a sign that you're growing and changing, even if the people around you aren't changing at the same pace. During this time, it can be helpful to seek out like-minded individuals. Look for spiritual groups or online communities where you can share your experiences with others who understand. But also try to be patient with the people in your life who don't get it. They're on their own journeys, and they might not be ready for the same changes you're going through. A third challenge you might face is intense emotions. As you become more aware and more open, you might find that you feel things more deeply than before. You might experience highs of joy and love that are more intense than anything you felt before. But you might also feel deeper lows of sadness or anger. These intense emotions can be overwhelming. You might feel like you're on an emotional roller coaster, never knowing what you're going to feel next. This is because a spiritual awakening often brings up old wounds and unresolved issues. It's like cleaning out a cluttered attic. You have to pull everything out and look at it before you can decide what to keep and what to let go of. During this time, it's important to find healthy ways to process and express your emotions. This might include practices like journaling, meditation, or talking with a trusted friend or counselor. Remember, emotions are energy in motion. Allow them to flow through you without getting stuck in them. Another challenge you might face is physical symptoms. Some people experience changes in their sleep patterns, appetite, or energy levels during a spiritual awakening. You might have headaches, body aches, or other unexplained physical sensations. These physical symptoms can be confusing and sometimes scary. It's always a good idea to check with a healthcare professional to rule out any medical causes. But if there's no medical explanation, these symptoms might be part of your awakening process. Your body is adjusting to the new energies and awareness you're experiencing. During this time, it's important to take good care of your physical body. Eat nourishing foods, get plenty of rest, and engage in gentle exercise like yoga or walking in nature. Listen to your body and give it what it needs. A final challenge you might face is the dark night of the soul. This is a period of deep questioning and sometimes despair that can come during a spiritual awakening. You might feel like everything you've believed in is falling apart, leaving you feeling lost and alone. The dark night of the soul can be a difficult and painful experience, but it's also an important part of the awakening process. It's a time of deep transformation, where old parts of yourself are dying so that new parts can be born. During this time, it's important to remember that this too shall pass. Many spiritual teachers describe the dark night of the soul as a necessary step on the path to awakening. It's like the darkest part of the night just before the dawn. Hold on to hope and trust that you will come through this stronger and wiser. While a spiritual awakening can bring challenges, it also comes with profound benefits that can transform your life in beautiful ways. As you move through the awakening process, you'll likely start to experience some of these positive changes. One of the most significant benefits is a deeper sense of peace and contentment. As you start to let go of old worries and fears, you might find a calmness settling into your life. This isn't the kind of happiness that comes from getting what you want. It's a deeper sense of okayness that stays with you even when life gets tough. This peace comes from realizing that you are more than your thoughts and emotions. You start to see that there's a part of you that remains untouched by the ups and downs of life. It's like finding an inner sanctuary that you can return to whenever you need to. You might notice this peace showing up in your daily life in small ways. Maybe you don't get as upset when someone cuts you off in traffic. Or maybe you find it easier to let go of little annoyances that used to bother you. This doesn't mean you never get upset, but you might find that you bounce back more quickly when you do. Another benefit is a greater sense of connection to others and to the world around you. As you awaken, you might start to feel a deep sense of oneness with all of life. The boundaries between you and others start to feel less solid. You might find yourself feeling more compassion and love, not just for your friends and family, but for strangers and even for people you disagree with. This sense of connection can bring a lot of joy into your life. You might find more meaning in your relationships. Simple interactions, like chatting with a cashier or smiling at a stranger, might start to feel more significant. You might also feel more connected to nature, finding peace and wisdom in the natural world. A spiritual awakening can also bring a sense of purpose and meaning to your life. As you let go of old beliefs about who you are and what's important, you might discover a deeper sense of why you're here. This doesn't always mean you'll suddenly know your life's purpose, but you might start to feel a sense of rightness in certain activities or a pull towards certain ways of living. This sense of purpose can make your life feel richer and more fulfilling. You might find more satisfaction in your work, or you might feel called to make changes in your career or lifestyle. You might discover new passions or rediscover old ones. Life starts to feel less like a series of random events and more like a meaningful journey. Another benefit is increased intuition and insight. As you become more attuned to your inner world, you might find that you have access to wisdom that goes beyond your logical mind. You might have moments of clarity where you just know what to do, even if you can't explain why. This increased intuition can be incredibly helpful in navigating life's challenges. You might find it easier to make decisions or to understand complex situations. You might also become more aware of synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that seem to guide you in the right direction. A spiritual awakening can also bring a sense of freedom. As you let go of old beliefs and ways of being, you might find that you're less bound by societal expectations or your own self-imposed limitations. You might feel more comfortable being your true self, even if that doesn't fit with what others expect of you. This freedom can show up in many areas of your life. You might feel more creative, more willing to take risks, or more open to new experiences. You might find it easier to let go of habits or relationships that no longer serve you. You might also feel less attached to material possessions, finding that your happiness comes more from within than from what you own. Another benefit is a greater ability to live in the present moment. Many of us spend a lot of time worrying about the future or ruminating on the past. But as you awaken, you might find it easier to be fully present in the here and now. This can make life feel richer and more vibrant. Living in the present doesn't mean you never think about the past or future, but you might find that you're able to plan for the future or learn from the past without getting stuck there. You're able to fully engage with what's happening right now, whether that's enjoying a meal, having a conversation, or even doing mundane tasks like washing dishes. Finally, a spiritual awakening can bring a sense of awe and wonder back into your life. As you start to see the world through new eyes, you might find beauty and magic in places you never noticed before. Ordinary moments might take on a sense of the extraordinary. This sense of wonder can make life feel more joyful and exciting. You might find yourself appreciating simple pleasures more deeply. You might feel a sense of gratitude for things you used to take for granted. Life itself might start to feel like a miraculous gift. Embarking on a spiritual awakening journey can feel overwhelming at times. But there are practical steps you can take to support your growth and make the most of this transformative experience. Remember, these are suggestions, not rules. Trust your intuition and choose the practices that resonate with you. One of the most powerful practices you can adopt is meditation. Meditation helps you quiet your mind and connect with your inner self. It's like creating a space of stillness within you where you can observe your thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them. If you're new to meditation, start small. Even 5 minutes a day can make a big difference. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. When thoughts come up, and they will, gently bring your attention back to your breath. Don't worry if your mind wanders. That's normal. The practice is in coming back to the present moment. As you get more comfortable with meditation, you might want to try different techniques. Guided meditations can be helpful, especially when you're starting out. There are many free apps and online resources that offer guided meditations. Experiment and find what works best for you. Another important practice is spending time in nature. Nature has a way of calming our minds and opening our hearts. It reminds us that we're part of something bigger than ourselves. Try to spend some time outdoors every day, even if it's just a short walk in a park. When you're in nature, Really pay attention to your surroundings. Notice the colors, the shapes, the textures. Listen to the sounds, the rustling of leaves, the chirping of birds, the flow of water. Feel the air on your skin, the ground beneath your feet. Let yourself be fully present in the natural world. Journaling is another powerful tool for spiritual growth. Writing down your thoughts and experiences can help you process them and gain new insights. It's also a great way to track your journey and see how far you've come. Try to write in your journal regularly, even if it's just for a few minutes. You might want to write about your experiences, your dreams, your questions, or your insights. Don't worry about writing perfectly. This is just for you. Let your thoughts flow freely onto the page. Reading spiritual or philosophical books can also support your awakening. These books can offer new perspectives and ideas that expand your understanding. They can also help you feel less alone on your journey as you read about others who have had similar experiences. Choose books that resonate with you. This might be ancient spiritual texts, modern self-help books, or anything in between. As you read, don't just accept everything as truth. Question, reflect, and see how the ideas fit with your own experiences. Practicing gratitude is another simple but powerful way to support your spiritual growth. Gratitude helps shift your focus from what's lacking in your life to the abundance that's already there. It can help you stay positive and open-hearted even during challenging times. Try keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. It could be a delicious cup of coffee, a kind word from a friend, or a beautiful sunset. Over time, you'll start to notice more and more things to be grateful for in your daily life. Connecting with like-minded people can also be incredibly supportive on your spiritual journey. Seek out others who are interested in spiritual growth. This might be through local meetup groups, online forums, or spiritual centers in your area. Sharing your experiences with others who understand can be very validating. It can also expose you to new ideas and practices. Just remember that everyone's journey is unique. What works for someone else might not work for you, and that's okay. Practicing mindfulness in your daily life is another important step. Mindfulness means being fully present and aware in each moment. It's like bringing the quality of attention you cultivate in meditation into your everyday activities. Try to bring mindfulness to simple tasks like eating, walking, or even washing dishes. Really pay attention to what you're doing. Notice the sensations, the movements, the thoughts that come up. This practice can help you stay grounded and present throughout your day. Taking care of your physical body is also crucial. Your body is the vehicle for your spiritual journey, so it's important to treat it with care and respect. This includes eating nourishing foods, getting enough sleep, and engaging in regular exercise. Listen to your body and give it what it needs. This might change as you go through your awakening process. You might find yourself naturally drawn to healthier foods or different types of exercise. Trust your body's wisdom. Practicing self-compassion is another important step. The awakening process can bring up a lot of difficult emotions and past wounds. It's important to be kind and patient with yourself as you navigate these challenges. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a good friend. When you're struggling, ask yourself, what do I need right now? Maybe it's rest, or comfort, or encouragement. Give yourself permission to meet those needs. Finally, remember to stay open and curious. A spiritual awakening is a journey of discovery. There will always be more to learn, more to experience, more to understand. Approach each day with an open mind and an open heart. Be willing to question your beliefs and assumptions. Be open to new ideas and experiences. And most importantly, trust your own inner wisdom. You have everything you need within you to navigate this journey. Trust the process and trust yourself. As you journey through your spiritual awakening, you might come across various ideas and beliefs about what this process should look like. It's important to recognize that many of these are myths that can actually hinder your growth. Let's explore some common misconceptions and uncover the truth behind them. One prevalent myth is that a spiritual awakening means you'll always be happy. This couldn't be further from the truth. While an awakening can bring profound joy and peace, it doesn't mean you'll never feel negative emotions again. In fact, you might find that you experience a wider range of emotions more intensely. The reality is that a spiritual awakening is about becoming more aware of all your emotions, both positive and negative. It's about learning to accept and work with your feelings rather than trying to avoid or suppress them. True spiritual growth involves embracing all aspects of your human experience, including the challenging parts. Another common myth is that you need to completely change your life when you have a spiritual awakening. Some people believe they need to quit their job, end their relationships, or move to a mountaintop to be truly spiritual. While some people might feel called to make big changes, it's not a requirement. The truth is that spiritual awakening is an inner journey. It's about changing your perception and relationship with life, not necessarily your external circumstances. You can have a profound spiritual awakening while living an ordinary life. In fact, everyday life often provides the perfect opportunities for growth and practice. There's also a myth that spiritual awakening happens overnight. Some people expect a sudden, dramatic shift that completely transforms them in an instant. While some people do have sudden, intense experiences, for most, spiritual awakening is a gradual process that unfolds over time. The reality is that spiritual growth is often slow and subtle. It's made up of small shifts in perception, little moments of insight, and gradual changes in how you relate to yourself and the world. It's a journey of continuous unfolding rather than a one-time event. Another myth is that being spiritual means rejecting the material world. Some people believe that to be truly spiritual, you need to give up all worldly possessions and pleasures. This can lead to a kind of spiritual bypassing, where people use spirituality to avoid dealing with real-world issues. The truth is that true spirituality involves embracing all aspects of life, including the material world. It's about finding a balance between the spiritual and the physical, and recognizing the sacred in everyday life. You can be spiritual and still enjoy material comforts, as long as you're not overly attached to them. There's also a myth that spiritual awakening means you'll develop supernatural powers. While some people report experiences that seem miraculous or unexplainable, these aren't the point of spiritual awakening. Focusing too much on developing psychic abilities or supernatural powers can actually be a distraction from true spiritual growth. The reality is that spiritual awakening is about developing your inner qualities, like compassion, wisdom, and peace. While you might become more intuitive or sensitive to energy, the real power of spiritual awakening is in how it transforms your relationship with yourself and the world. Another common myth is that you need a guru or spiritual teacher to have a spiritual awakening. While teachers can be helpful guides, they're not necessary for everyone. Some people worry that they can't progress spiritually without finding the right teacher. The truth is that the most important teacher is your own inner wisdom. While external teachers can offer guidance and support, ultimately, the journey is yours. Trust your own intuition and experiences. You have everything you need within you to navigate your spiritual path. There's also a myth that once you're spiritually awakened, you'll never struggle again. Some people believe that reaching a certain level of spiritual development means you'll be immune to life's challenges. This can lead to disappointment and self-judgment when difficulties arise. The reality is that life continues to have ups and downs, even after a spiritual awakening. The difference is in how you relate to these challenges. You might find that you're able to navigate difficulties with more grace and wisdom, but you'll still face obstacles and have moments of struggle. Finally, there's a myth that spiritual awakening is all about feeling good and positive. While awakening can bring many positive feelings, it's not about avoiding or denying negative experiences. This myth can lead people to suppress their true feelings in an attempt to appear spiritual. The truth is that spiritual awakening is about becoming more real and authentic. It's about facing all aspects of yourself and life with honesty and courage. This includes acknowledging and working through difficult emotions and experiences. A spiritual awakening doesn't happen in isolation. As you go through this transformative process, you'll likely notice changes in your relationships with others. These changes can be both challenging and rewarding, offering opportunities for growth and deeper connections. One of the first things you might notice is a shift in your existing relationships. As you change and grow, you might find that some relationships no longer feel aligned with who you're becoming. This doesn't necessarily mean these relationships need to end, but they might need to evolve. You might find yourself wanting deeper, more meaningful conversations. Small talk might start to feel unsatisfying, and you might crave discussions about life's big questions. This can be challenging if your friends or family aren't on the same wavelength. Be patient with them, and remember that everyone is on their own journey. At the same time, you might find that some relationships naturally deepen. As you become more authentic and open, you might connect with others on a more profound level. You might discover new depths in long-standing relationships or form new connections with like-minded individuals. Your increased empathy and compassion might also change how you relate to others. You might find yourself more understanding of others' perspectives, even when you disagree. This can lead to more harmonious relationships and better communication. However, this increased sensitivity can also be challenging. You might find that you're more affected by others' emotions or energy. Learning to set healthy boundaries becomes important. It's okay to take time for yourself when you need it. Your romantic relationships might also shift during a spiritual awakening. You might find yourself desiring a deeper, more soulful connection with a partner. If you're in a relationship, this might mean having honest conversations about your growth and what you need from the relationship. If you're single, you might find that your criteria for a partner change. You might be less interested in superficial qualities and more drawn to someone who can share your spiritual journey. Remember, though, that no one person can fulfill all your needs. it's important to maintain your own spiritual practice and not rely solely on a romantic partner for growth. Family relationships can be particularly challenging during a spiritual awakening. Family members might not understand the changes you're going through. They might worry about you or try to pull you back into old patterns of behavior. Remember that you don't need to convince your family members of your new perspectives. Focus on living your truth and being kind. Over time, they may come to accept and even appreciate the changes in you. A spiritual awakening can also change how you relate to humanity as a whole. You might feel a growing sense of connection to all people, even strangers. This can lead to a desire to be of service or to contribute to the greater good in some way. You might find yourself drawn to volunteer work or activism, or you might simply find yourself being kinder in your everyday interactions. Small acts of kindness can have a ripple effect, positively impacting those around you. As you navigate these changes in your relationships, remember to be patient and compassionate, both with others and with yourself. Relationship changes can be difficult, but there are also opportunities for growth and deeper connections. A spiritual awakening isn't just about having profound experiences or insights. The real challenge and the real reward comes from integrating these realizations into your everyday life. This is where the rubber meets the road, where spiritual insights transform into lived wisdom. One of the first steps in integration is bringing mindfulness into your daily activities. This means being fully present and aware in whatever you're doing, whether it's washing dishes, driving to work, or having a conversation. Try to approach each task with full attention and curiosity, as if you're doing it for the first time. This practice of mindfulness can transform even the most mundane activities into opportunities for spiritual growth. You might start to see the sacred in the ordinary, finding joy and meaning in simple moments. Another important aspect of integration is aligning your actions with your values. As you awaken, you might become more aware of the impact your choices have on yourself, others, and the world around you. This might lead you to make changes in your lifestyle, such as adopting more ethical or sustainable practices. These changes don't have to be drastic. Start small. Maybe you decide to be more mindful of your consumption habits or to practice more kindness in your daily interactions. The key is to gradually bring your outer life into alignment with your inner truth. Integrating your awakening also means learning to balance your spiritual life with your worldly responsibilities. It's easy to get caught up in spiritual experiences and neglect practical matters. But true integration means finding a way to honor both the spiritual and the material aspects of life. This might involve creating a daily routine that includes time for spiritual practices as well as work and family responsibilities. It might mean finding ways to bring your spiritual values into your work life. The goal is to create a life where your spiritual path and your everyday life support and enrich each other. Another crucial aspect of integration is learning to navigate difficult emotions and situations from a place of awareness. Life will still have its challenges, but your awakening can give you new tools to deal with these challenges. When faced with difficult emotions or situations, try to pause and create a space between the trigger and your response. Take a few deep breaths and connect with your inner awareness. From this place, you can respond with more wisdom and compassion rather than reacting from old patterns. Integrating your awakening also means being willing to continually question your beliefs and assumptions. Spiritual growth is an ongoing process. Stay open to new insights and be willing to let go of ideas that no longer serve you. This doesn't mean you need to constantly doubt yourself. It's more about maintaining an attitude of curiosity and openness. Be willing to see things from new perspectives and to admit when you've made mistakes. Finally, remember that integration is a gradual process. It takes time to embody spiritual insights and to create lasting changes in your life. Be patient with yourself and celebrate small victories along the way. A spiritual awakening is a profound and transformative journey. It's a process of uncovering your true nature, of seeing beyond the surface of reality to the deeper truths that lie beneath. This journey can bring challenges, but it also offers immense rewards, a deeper sense of peace, greater compassion, and a more meaningful and fulfilling life. As you navigate this path, remember that your journey is unique. There's no one right way to have a spiritual awakening. Trust your own experiences and intuition. Be open to guidance, but always filter it through your own inner wisdom. Remember also that spiritual awakening is not a destination, but an ongoing journey. There will always be more to learn, more to experience, more ways to grow. Embrace this journey with an open heart and an open mind. Be patient and kind with yourself as you go through this process. There will be ups and downs, moments of clarity and moments of confusion. All of these are part of the journey. Trust that even the difficult moments are opportunities for growth. As you integrate your awakening into your daily life, you have the opportunity to create positive change, not just for yourself, but for those around you. Your awakening can ripple out into the world, touching others in ways you might never fully know. Finally, remember that you are not alone on this journey. While each person's path is unique, we are all connected in our search for meaning and truth. Reach out to others, share your experiences, and be open to learning from those around you. Your spiritual awakening is a gift, a chance to see the world with new eyes, to connect more deeply with yourself and others, and to live a life of greater purpose and meaning. Embrace this gift, nurture it, and let it transform your life in beautiful and unexpected ways.